Hello, how are we doing today? My name is SpectrumDominus, and today we will be doing the NXT TakeOver Orlando prediction show. Now, as always, we're doing this live on my Twitch stream. I have viewers sitting here, which I will be alluding to randomly throughout the stream. You can join us at twitch.tv/SpectrumDominus. That will be down in the comments below. We do all of our live streams there, whether it be prediction shows, box openings. We do WWE Supercard streams, WWE 2K16. We even do our own live wrestling universe. Not live wrestling. WWE 2K stream universe on that channel. So come check us out. Let us know. We'll be doing a WWE WrestleMania 33 prediction show, and that will be posted in the description below as well. But let's do TakeOver for now. As always, I will be getting my card from the Wikipedia page for NXT TakeOver Orlando. We always get our card from Wikipedia because we have found that there's never been a match listed that hasn't been on the show yet since we've started, but there has been matches listed that we did not know about that did appear on the show. So it's a nice way to make sure we hit every match, especially those pre-show matches that haven't officially been announced. With TakeOver, there is actually one match that I did not know about. It is the first match listed. I like TakeOver because they're much more compact pay-per-views. Now, I'm a storyline guy. I love the current WWE product. I love the fact that WrestleMania has 10 matches on the card, 3 matches on the pre-show. I love that it's a big, glorious, grand event. And even their smaller things like Fastlane usually have 7 to 8 matches, and it's very storyline heavy. TakeOver tends to be more of a throwback show for the times. It's not the same thing as the WWE product. Whereas the WWE product is going to be fitting 13 matches over 5 hours. I realize that with the pre-show it's 6 hours, but they do a lot of talking there. There's probably only going to be only 45 minutes worth of wrestling on the pre-show. So just over 4.5 hours, something like that. They're going to fit 13 matches, whereas NXT TakeOver is going to fit 5 matches over the course of nearly 3 hours. So what you're going to see is you're going to see the TakeOver matches, and I would venture to say that every TakeOver match is going to, from time in the ring, time given to perform, is going to there may be 1 or 2 at most WrestleMania matches that beat every TakeOver match on time. But for the most part, TakeOver is going to get you in that ring. It's going to let them perform, let them tell the story that they have to tell in the ring. And that's what a lot of people like. And I enjoy it. I really do. Like I said, it's a throwback to the old days of WWE, or you can even allude it laterally to TNA pay-per-view or a Ring of Honor pay-per-view, where it's less about the stories and more about the in-ring action. So that's really nice. The first match is the one that I had not heard about. It's a extension of the 6-man tag match that happened this week on NXT. Ty Dillinger, Roderick Strong, and No Way Jose took on Sanity's Eric Young, Killian Dane, and Alexander Wolf. And the match itself was unspectacular in the fact that I can't remember the ending. Off the top of my head, I don't remember if someone stole a win and then all hell broke loose, or if Nikki Cross, and that's what I believe happened, Nikki Cross got involved and there was a disqualification and all hell broke loose. I don't remember the ending of that match. But what I do remember is once all hell broke loose, because Nikki Cross was there, the Sanity got the upper hand and they were beating down the other 3 until some random woman came running out and joined the fray and evened the odds. Now, I liked the whole development. I liked how it played out. I liked that they added a woman. In the backstage interviews before the match, I was like, you keep saying the odds are even, the numbers are even now, but they're not, because Nikki has shown that she's going to hop on any one of your backs, which is enough of a distraction. So I saw where they were going with it. I didn't know if they were planning on bringing a woman out at that point, and I couldn't figure out who it would be. And it turned out that they brought it out afterwards, and it was someone we never saw before. Now, I personally believe they went about this wrong. And the reason why, and my explanation behind that is, I feel like it would have worked out better had they did the six-man match the previous Wednesday, and then this Wednesday, yesterday, they did, according to Wikipedia, the girl's name is Riott. I'm going to take that as official for now until I hear differently. And they could have had her, Ruby Riott, say that 5 times fast, Ruby Riott fight Nikki Cross on this Wednesday's NXT, even if you didn't have an ending, even if you had Sanity to get involved and then the whole thing break out again. But at least you would have got an introduction to Ruby Riott. Let her say something. Let her explain why she joined. Let her give us some kind of feeling about her. When you looked at her, when I look at her, she could have very easily been a Sanity member. Her hair was kind of nappy. She had tattoos. If you pulled Nikki Cross out and slid her in as the new Sanity member, no one would have blinked an eye. But for some reason, she's against Sanity. Is there a reason? Could you have given us a reason? Give us some storyline here. I know that they like to use these TakeOver specials to introduce new characters, give them their first matches, but they're already doing that later in the card on Aleister Black. I don't like it happening twice, especially where you're throwing the character into this 8-man tag. Now, the next thing about this match is that it's an 8-person tag match, and I don't personally care for the mixed tag matches. Now, I don't mind a mixed tag match, 1 male, 1 female. It's fine because most of the purposes of a match, when you have them like that, you don't use up the tag team formula. There is no use of the tag team formula in that. And what I mean by the tag team formula is, in a tag team match, you have wrestler X who's usually a face, gets put on the other side of the and beat up by the other 2 or 3 or 4, no matter how many, depending on how big the match is, until he finally breaks free and makes a hot tag on the other side to get his partner in, and then he comes and beats everyone up. Well, when you throw a 1 male, 1 female, you can't be tagging in the female to beat on that person anyway. So that part is not ever used. You don't use that format to a mixed tag match. But when you go to a 6-man where it's 2 males and a female, or in this case an 8-man where it's 3 males and a female, you're completely negating the women part of it. Now, WWE tends to do a good job of avoiding that blunder, and I'll give them the due. I'll assume that they'll handle this okay, but I'm just not a big fan because Roderick Strong or No Way Jose gets put in the corner and gets beat up by Eric Young and Killian Dane and Alexander Wolf, and they keep tagging out and they're dragging his legs and they do everything they can to stop him from tagging Ty Dillinger. But the one thing they can't do is tag in Nikki Cross, because if they tag in Nikki Cross, now they have to let Roderick Strong walk over and tag Ruby Riott. So there's no reason to have women in tag team matches in this situation. I feel like it's a mistake. I would have much rather had the 2 girls just on the outside, and now the odds are even. But we'll see how this plays out. It might be a way to let her get some ring time while not having too much ring time to see that she can handle it. Let the guys actually take care of it. So, as far as the match goes, I think the right way to go with this is to let Sanity win. That is the correct way to go. I think Sanity needs to become your NWO or whatever of NXT. They need to be bigger. They need to be badder. They need to get another member or 2 maybe. There was a 3rd member before Killian Dane came in. hopefully he comes back and rejoins the group and they go up another guy. But I really would like to see them turn into a force in NXT. And a loss here kind of weakens that. That being said, they are going to lose. I expect Tye Dillinger to get the win here. I expect the faces to stand all triumphant, mainly because this is a very heel-heavy pay-per-view, in my opinion. So, notch me down for Tye Dillinger, Roderick Strong, Noah Jose, and Ruby Riott with a win over Eric Young, Killian Dane, Alexander Wolf, and Nikki Cross. It may be just a case of Dillinger pins Wolf or something like that, so it's not as big as bad a situation, but it's still a face win. Second match is Aleister Black versus Andreas Almas. This one is the guaranteed match. Aleister Black will absolutely win this. Now, we've seen Aleister Black before. His name is Tommy N. And he fought on the WWE European tournament. The last day of the tournament when they wanted a break between the semifinals and the finals, they let Finn Balor fight. I think it was Finn Balor. No, was it not Finn Balor? I don't know. It was Tommy End fight, and yeah, it was Finn Balor. Tell me it was. No, it was Neville. I'm sorry. It was Neville. That's right. Finn Balor was still injured at the time. They let Tommy End fight Neville in a match before, just as a let the competitors take a match off while they fought. He looked good. He lost the match, but at the time he was essentially a nobody. Now he's using his gimmick. He's in here. They will not let him lose this. He probably won't lose for a little while. I can see them building him up towards one of the next contenders for the title. NXT never lets a superstar who's making their first appearance lose a match like this. I almost wish they would. They need to, one of these times, have someone like this come in and then lose their match, so it's not as obvious. But he definitely wins this. That we know that they don't mind giving Almas a loss, so Almas will take the loss here. Black will get his first win in his first match. So the next match is the Tag Team Championship match, a triple threat match, and it is the match I am most looking forward to. First of all, you have DIY and Revival in it. Two tag teams who, for most people, put up the match of the tag team match of the year last year. And I can't argue against it. I do think that the Revival American Alpha match was better personally, but I can't argue against the DIY match. It was really, really rather well done. So they're in this. They're there to make it look exciting because the Authors of Pain, as good as they are, and they are good. Most people are giving them, saying that they're monsters and they can't wrestle. But if you watched that triple threat match this past week, Akam can wrestle. He did some really interesting stuff. He is a big guy, and it's a lot of squash stuff, but they're going to be good. Authors of Pains are going to be good. They just need to iron out a little bit of kinks. DIY and Revival are there to make the match look good. Now, this could go several ways. The first way, the way that I expect it to not go, is the way that they did the triple threat match on what I would have done, I should say, if they had not done the triple threat match on WWE, on NXT this week, is I wouldn't have made an elimination match, and I would have had the Revival beat DIY after Axum and Razor did their finisher. However, that's exactly the finish we got to the triple threat match between Johnny Gargano, Akam, and Dash Wilder this week. Akam plants Gargano with a ridiculously powerful powerbomb. It was just crazy, that powerbomb on Gargano. And then Scott Dawson grabs Akam's leg. Dash Wilder slides in the ring and pins him. Dash Wilder gets the win. It makes the Revival look good. It's exactly how I would have booked it. It's exactly how I would have booked the Tag Team Championship match as well. It doesn't make the champs look weak. It makes the Authors of Pain look strong. It gives the Revivals the belt. That's what I would have done. They decided to go with the elimination stipulation, which I don't like, and here's why. With the elimination situation, now first of all, for the Authors of Pain to lose, they have to get beat with the elimination stipulation. And I don't like them getting beat right now. I think that, they're too new. They kind of just got the belts, and I realize with takeovers happening every 3 months, you hold the belts for a lot longer than it seems. They've had them for, I guess, 3 months now. But when it's only one pay-per-view, they've had them for literally one pay-per-view. You don't want to take the titles off of them one pay-per-view in the future. So because of that, I don't want them to look weak and already lose. If it wasn't a triple threat, if it wasn't elimination, you could have DIY pin Revival or Revival pin DIY and leave the champs still looking strong. Or leave the Authors of Pain still looking strong. But with the elimination situation, you have to have them beat. Now, are there ways to get them beat and still make them look strong? Yes. You can use a foreign object and the ref's back was turned and you didn't see him hit with a chair, and stuff like that could happen and possibly will happen. If you do it even then, it's like you don't have DIY do that. So is it the Revival does that and then eliminates them before it's just the Revival? And I don't feel that way. I feel like the Revival is going out first. Revival is going to be gone first, and then it's going to be the Authors of Pain versus DIY. Will we have new champions or not? Can DIY overcome the Authors of Pain? It's a story that's been told, that's being told, and at that point, I don't want DIY to beat the Authors of Pain. So for me, I'm going to say the Authors of Pain are going to hold this off. If it had been not been an elimination match, I would have at least entertain the option of one of the other teams sneaks a win. I feel like in that situation, I could pick a different team as a potential option. But right now, I have to go with they're going to leave the belts on the Authors of Pain. Revival, in my opinion, needs to show up on either Raw or SmackDown after WrestleMania. I've said it before, there are 2 near guarantees getting pulled up. There is one really good possibility. The near guarantees are, number 1, the 100% guarantee is Elias Sampson. He lost a Loser Leaves NXT match. He will 100% be on either Raw or SmackDown this coming, and I hope SmackDown, but this coming SmackDown or Raw after WrestleMania. The other one will be later, we'll talk about in a little bit, but then the Revival is this is a good possibility. It's time we need to build up the tag team division. There is literally 1 tag team on SmackDown, 2 if you count the Usos. Either bringing the Revival to SmackDown and making them instantly the second or best tag team, or bringing them on Raw and sliding someone like New Day or Enzo and Cass over to SmackDown. Either way strengthens the divisions and makes both divisions look reasonable, rather than it's the American Alpha and Breezango and Rhino and Heath Slater and Vaudevillains. There's nothing on that. There's nothing on that show. So the Revival is going to come up. They're not going to give them a 3rd title before someone else has 2 title reigns. So because of that, Revival is not an option. Your options are DIY and Authors of Pain, and from that standpoint, I have to give it to the Authors of Pain. So the next match is Asuka versus Ember Moon for the NXT Women's Championship. Now, Asuka has had this title for a year, and a lot of people, I think, are starting to feel like it's time for her to lose the belt. A lot of people are thinking it's time for her to get called up to the main roster. Well, first of all, if you watch NXT, you'll notice one thing. You'll notice that they're advertising a lot of stuff after WrestleMania, and Asuka is on all of the advertisements. So, yes, she can pull double duty. Double duty is something that has happened before, but I don't believe that's what we're seeing here. I do not believe Asuka's leaving, and thus, if Asuka's not leaving, there is time to build this to a actual feud. As of right now, you have a battle. You have someone won a number one contender match and they yelled at each other but there's no feud there. They haven't developed anything. Asuka says you're not ready. Ember Moon says my destiny is to take the title off of you. That's the depth of this feud. Whereas Asuka, who has started being heelish, started doing heelish things, talking heelish, acting heelish, she can win by nefarious means here. Ember Moon does not get the title. Feels like she gets cheated. William Regal gives her another shot, maybe at the next pay-per-view, and then Asuka holds it for 3 months longer, where you build up a real feud between these two, and then you can bring Asuka up closer to SummerSlam Survivor Series down the road when it's time. Now, back when the match in WWE, when the Women's SmackDown Championship match was any women on the roster, there was potential thought that perhaps Asuka would lose and then show up the next night on WrestleMania and win the Women's Championship. I was never in that camp. I did not think that was going to happen at all. I honestly, what I thought might happen, my big prediction was going to be that Eva Marie was going to make her reappearance and become the champion. That has kind of been nixed now because they've changed the match from everyone's invited to a six-pack challenge. Once they literally, what they're saying, and I don't want to get too much into it now, I'll go over it in the others, is I guess they're saying that we were leaving it open for Naomi in case she could come back. Since we announced she's back, they were closing the door and not letting anyone else in. Why that's important here is because there's no door open for anyone else to come in, there's no real reason for Asuka to come up at this point. Asuka will retain her title, carry it for a little bit longer, but I do believe that Ember Moon is the one that dethrones her eventually, although I think that I would do Nikki Cross if I was writing. I think I would get Sanity. I would have had Sanity give them the women's belt, have Sanity cost Asuka the belt. You can have Asuka look really strong when she beats up Alexander Wolf and you know, all that kind of stuff during the match, but still ends up losing. That's how I would have booked it. But, you know, they don't ask me. Anyway, the final match is Bobby Roode versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the NXT Championship. This one, again, I feel like it's pretty obvious. No one should be expecting Shinsuke to get this title back here. I feel like he won't win clean. He'll win dirty. Something will happen. Someone may come down and get involved. Someone comes down and beats up Roode walking backstage, hits someone, another wrestler or something, and then they come out and beat up Roode in the middle of the match, and Shinsuke wins by disqualification. Something. But Roode is leaving with the title, and Shinsuke is going to probably, he's the third of the three that is going to show up on either Raw or SmackDown. I hope Raw, personally. Most people want SmackDown, but SmackDown's the better show, and I do not want Shinsuke Nakamura ruining the better show, so stick him on Raw, and it's one less reason I have to watch Raw. But I think that if Roode doesn't win, then he loses by disqualification or he loses by countout or something like that. But Roode will keep the title here. They're not going to put the title back on Shinsuke. Not for a third title reign in a year's time. I just don't see. I think that Roode. It's time to move Roode on to another story and move Shinsuke up. So that is my TakeOver Orlando feeling. Bobby Roode over Nakamura. Again, it may not be Roode over Nakamura, but Roode leaves with the title. Asuka over Ember Moon. Same situation. I guess in theory they could have Asuka get disqualified if they didn't want to do that in the top match. If Bobby Roode wins clean or dirty, but not gets disqualified. They could have Asuka disqualified here. Ember Moon wins, but she keeps the title. I picked the Authors of Pain, which means that I'm saying that no titles are changing hands. By the fact that I'm saying that makes me think I should be picking DIY here. Possibly they're going to give it back to DIY. But I hope not. I really hope not. I do not want them to do that. That means that all titles stay where they were, all titles stay heel, and because of that, Aleister Black and Ty Dillinger's team will be winning to balance out the card a little more, so it's not an all-heel victory. If there's one match I'm wrong about, it is the Authors of Pain match. That is DIY. The rest of it, I would put money on. That will happen how it is. So thank you for joining me, guys. Come out and check out the stream live. Let me know what you think. They are my chat is rioting right now. They're all, half of them are Nakamura fans, half of them hate him. They're fighting each other in chat. Come and join us. Be part of this ruckus every day, not every day, but all the time. And I'll see you guys soon. Check out the link below, www.twitch.tv/SpectrumDominus. I'll see you guys at WrestleMania.